So today, when I'm putting together those um, the last sessions or few sessions, and I start with the anchor that we do in the beginning as we do different options. First, breathing as a way to find more a way to focus or bring your mind in something. We call it the anchor your mind. And the breathing is one, sounds another one, or even scanning your body as we do in one of the sessions. But don't worry, if you are not remember or you were in that session, we bring it to the practice today. So as we want to be more settled and start being more present, this is a way to start with. Now, there is other ways. We're talking about sitting. As you already mentioned, some of you are swimmers or like to start to walk a lot. So there is definitely always you can focus on your steps. So the invitation is that there is always something handy that you can anchor your mind with. And this is always available. There is no day that you have something to anchor. And especially if your breath is not a vehicle to bring your mind and calm the waves of your mind, you can use only one. And a little bit bring it that anchoring and bring your attention into loving kindness is bring us this awareness and also, I will say, contemplation. When we stop and we allow ourselves to contemplate, when we say allow, is giving permission that we can have this anytime. Shawn Salzberg, which is one of the mindful meditation teachers, she also reminds that, hey, if you get distracted, you have the power to come back. And it's very, very empowering to come back in meditation on all the things you want to focus in. So these things that bring into the practice when we sit down to meditate or walking or swimming or any way to approach to meditation is that you can approach in as you choose. And when you allow, it's a nice way to letting go things. Most of us, we have the tendency to hold things. And when we're letting go, the things start to manifest more easily and be more real and feel what we need to feel. So this is something about mindful meditation I want to share with you, is the opportunity that you can focus or be a very more sensitive about what's happening in this present moment. Allow the feelings to come, but also let the feelings to go out, the things especially doesn't serve you anymore. And as a loving kindness, I just want to also a little bit more specific. I feel last week we have this more like what is the relationship about loving kindness to ourselves and others. And I know when we talk about neutral, was a little probably challenging or not clear to see it. So I choose a story. And this story is, I was in Brooklyn in Park Slope, which probably most of you know where is it. And I was there is a Halloween parade. And the Halloween parade for kids, my daughter was 4 years old. And I came to walk with her as a scarecrow, but also with a scarecrow with like a puppet, like a marionette. And we walk, because of course I had the overall, I have things hanging my sides, like a clothing, my clothes was kind of brick, etc. And we finished the parade, I returned my daughter, beautiful daughter with her mom, to live in Park Slope. And in my way back, I decided to stop in the Prospect Park. It was, it's Halloween and it is very special and magical, the trees in that time, because the fall, all the trees are completely changing by then, or really in a beautiful blooming moment of the fall. And also was working in school. So the next day I want to do a project with the kids. And I went to the park to collect these leaves that was beautiful leaves, the fall and maple leaves. And I went walking and it was dark, as you know. So in the park, Prospect Park, I said, well, there's a beautiful tree just in the edge of the park. And I was walking, I went to the park and I went to find a tree, a perfect tree. And I started to collect all the leaves. And I have a black backpack and also a black bag. So I have collecting and also collecting. But I have a big bag, like this trash bag, and collected all these leaves, boom, boom, boom. And suddenly I saw somebody coming in a bicycle and in the path and stop. And when he stopped, he went down to the bicycle. And my first reaction and my first response was, "Oh, it's a homeless." It's with the way I see it, my response. I have no idea was a homeless or not, but the way I responded. And he came to me, and I was dun, 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 because it was dark. I was in the park, and I was like, "Oops, I don't know. I've never been in this situation, and we have to be careful in the park." And he came to me walking very straightforward, and he told me, "Are you gonna stay here?" And I said, "What do you mean? Are you sleeping here?" And I was like, "Oops, no, I just collecting this for a project." And he looked at me really serious. And he turned around and he went to the bicycle. By then, I was creating all my stories in my mind, right? Maybe that's this is his area. Maybe I need to ask permission to him. I didn't know. I was very confused and scared. I was in a lot of fear. And my mind was definitely responding whether I know how to respond with, stereotypes and my own interpretation of feelings and the moment. And when he came, he went to the bicycle, he got something like, and he came back also very direct to me. And I just took a breath and I said, okay, I'm gonna see what's happening. And he came and he gave me this protection usually for the tents or when you're sleeping, so you can cover so it's not raining, carpet. And he gave it to me like this. He said, take it. He said, and sleep underneath the trees because the police comes in the morning and they're gonna take you out. And I was like, no, I'm not sleeping here. So take it. And I feel like I have so much option, but receive his gift. I could say no, and he insisted no, but he was so determined that I opened to hear what I was saying. And honestly, also between gratitude, but also with fear. But when I get it and he left, the gratitude came completely cover me. But you just can imagine, I was with my overalls, right? I was a scarecrow dressing or Halloween. And when he gave me this and he left, I turned around to see, I said, wow. I mean, I believe, or probably after his comment, sleeping here and just to sleep, know about the police, maybe he'll sleep there. That's my interpretation after he mentioned that. But also I observed my mind of how we was acting in certain way. And I know and recognize that we respond as a surviving. This is the first thing we do. And I observe and I notice that in general, let's say when I see somebody homeless, or I see something like asking money in the street, or I give money or I move to the sides, but I'm not move forward to help or see that person needs. And this person from nowhere came to take care of me. And that was an amazing feeling of protection, but also learning as incredible teacher, and he came with no asking me for money that buy, just take it, get protect, hide there. The police gonna come, be careful. And I really was very touched. And also my feelings become, so I start to recognize first where I was. And now allow, which means I let myself to feel. And I start to investigate why I'm responding like that, why I see things like that. First, from the place of gratitude, of love, made me to like a mirror to try to see love as well for myself, even the things my reaction wasn't, I wish wasn't like that, because I feel like I wish I was more open and loving kindness. But also I knew that, I do this as allow myself as protection. So these kind of things make me coming back to observe that, you receive love and receive these generous gestures, and some of them are more amazing that we can expect. And I know that each one of us have a beautiful stories like that somebody from nowhere offer you something, then somehow, even though in this case I didn't really need to sleep in the park. Somebody thinking, I want to support you. And I don't know, he didn't have so many things in the bicycle. I thought, actually, I think he was the only thing he was in the bicycle and gave it to me. So I still carry that and I pull next to every time I had a time for meditate or in my home, I have it close by. And it's really a reminder as how the mind comes someplace, but also a reminder of the possibilities that we can learn as we contemplate, as we witness ourselves. And when I sit, when I prepare for the next 20 minutes for meditation, mindful meditation, so I want to invite you to sit down very comfortable. If you sit down straight, be sure that your spine is have a natural curves. If you decide to lay on your back, be sure very comfortable, that there is no distraction. And you can do anything with your screen right now. You can even cover as you prefer, and you can turn off your camera. And so you find comfortability as your body won't call so much your attention, I would invite you either close your eyes or slightly open. As the first connection is looking for something to anchor. Whatever you feel that works, the last few sessions, as your breath, as the sounds of any part of your body. And maybe as you come in, whatever is your anchor choice, your mind become probably also wandering. When that happened, you had the power to come back. You had the power to come back to your anchor choice. Every time our attention goes into the breath, also is going to bring us probably a reaction response. Sometimes can be altered, sometimes could be relaxing, could be joyful. So I want to invite you as you're in these couple of breaths to feel what comes out, how your body responding with no, with no judgment. No need to put a name. And some of the emotion that comes, some are very joyful, some might be that you want to be there for longer. It's just already feels like this is, you want to be there. But don't worry if not. If you feel not very settled, not centering, or start to be centered with my voice, you can focus in my sounds on my voice. And let the thought things to come and go. As the breath goes in, you receive. The love is in the air. You give yourself permission to receive. As you exhale, you soften and take everything out. Emotions comes as waves that sometimes doesn't allow to reach the earth, but we know it's gonna go away. And some waves are bigger than the others. Sometimes it's a very softened waves like the Caribbean Ocean. Sometimes become a storm. And maintain yourself in this current of emotions without try to manipulate it. There is no need to hold or to encourage or to judge. As you move away of judgment, you give yourself to be more free. As you are where you are, see something comes to you as the air, something in this precious moment that is a beautiful expression of unconditional love. That is all the time. This love is always available. And it's for the moment, it's not easy to cap or even experience that the love it was available. Even our mind can understand it. It's okay. Doesn't go away. Love's gonna be there. It's gonna manifest this in the with a person, gonna manifest in a response of yourself on others. It's always there. I'm gonna invite you to observing if it's any different in your body, in your skin, in your breathing. Difference of when we come to start the session. as you step back to see what is there to reveal, as you witness your own mind, body.
I just wanted to thank you for sharing that story about your experience in the park, um, because I found it very relatable, even though I don't expect to find myself in Prospect Park anytime soon. But I'm thinking what came to mind is when I'm at work and there are a couple characters that I work with who have a tendency to have a cycle of behavior. And oftentimes when you see them coming towards you, the thought is like, oh, here we go again. Oh, what is so and so have for us today? Oh, what's wrong now? Right. So the judgment just happens immediately. And therefore the doors of like love and acceptance and grace just close up before they even get to me. Um, and even though I'm showing the smile on my face, right, the polite it's not real, it's all phony. Right. And so I just really appreciate that story because I thought what a difference it would make, even if the outcome's the same, but what difference would it make for me, but also that person, if I didn't go to that judgment place, right? If I reminded myself, I'm here, we're here now in this moment, not in the moment that happened yesterday or a week ago, or what I think they're going to say, or the moment that I think they're going to take me to. Um, anyway, that just really connected for me. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you for that. I, there is all these stories, everybody is our own stories, just in different form, isn't it? And feelings is our own feelings, but just in different form. And I think Megan's, as Molly has been saying, that is just this awareness that, oh, in life, this is what helps. Working with kids is for me, or make like I have this relate with this. But I want to invite you that when you catch yourself you're judging, that's already an amazing expression, act of love, loving kindness, to see yourself reflecting, and but remember to try always be kind to yourself, because sometimes we can catch ourselves, oh, I'm doing this, oh, I'm doing it again. It's very hard and doesn't really help for the mind, body, to let ourselves to things go. Just we have to remember that we're learning, and just in this process, a journey, and we're gonna fall many times, and we're not enlightenment, and probably we are not looking for that, but we are. We want to remember that we own this process, everybody, and everybody has the capacity of love, and we can love ourselves even when we don't understand why we react certain ways. And having the reflection is already an act of love. It's loving kindness. So it's great how you put it out and you put it with something in your life. It's thank you.
Meg, what you just said, I was thinking along the same lines, and it was a couple months ago where my son Gabriel came home and he was in a real huff and a big crabby with me, and usually he's a real mama's boy, and he's in a real huff and he's storming around and he's in a bad mood. And finally I said, Gabriel, what's the problem? And he says, well, you're gonna be mad at me. I said, okay. He's like, well, I didn't get 100 on my spelling test, and you're going to be mad at me because you told me I should study. So all day I've known how mad you're going to be. And I'm like, well, so you're mad at me about something I haven't said yet? And he goes, yes. Wow, how many times in my life have I gotten mad at someone for something that they haven't said yet? And how many times in our relationships do we get mad at each other for things that haven't happened yet, for things that we created in our mind, and we presume that that's the next thing? And Elias, that's what I was thinking about with your story too. It's like, this fear of I think I know what's happening right now, but I don't have all the details, but my mind is going to build it up enough to keep me safe. And it's just such a beautiful reminder that we have no idea what's coming out of each other's mouths from any one moment to the next. We can think we do, but we really don't. And it's like, how much conflict do we create in our lives out of expectation versus reality? And thank you for that reminder for both of you.
And something I want to give you recognition is your own recognition. And this is a practice also we do in this kind of mindfulness meditation. They call also the RAIN, like the word RAIN. And I use, when I was start to bring into word talking, is that you recognize. Now that's amazing. Start with the R, recognize. And now we recognize, you allow. You is the A, recognize, and then allow. It's happening or happening. I get distracted, I get annoying, I get softened. Just allowing. And then you investigate, like, hey, why I'm doing this? It's like, what comes from? And that, when you investigate, you become more compassionate to yourself. Because, yes, I probably, because that's the way I used to, I don't know, respond to my brothers and sisters. So maybe you don't even know, but you know it's something that comes, that is there with you. It's not like you had to identify with that. And the last N, the last letter, is nurture. Okay, you recognize, you allow, investigate. Now how you nurture yourself. And this is like practice letting go. You allow, get inspiration. Maybe you see, okay, we're talking about meditation, but maybe you can say, what to nurture myself? I'm gonna swim, I'm gonna go into the ocean, very cold ocean in the morning, take things out, physical feels better, and I can respond. So rain is actually, as you send you the email, I'm gonna eventually in the future gonna do another session, but it's gonna be about actually the whole about rain. But this is what we do. It's like recognition is so wonderful, but also when you recognize, remember when we said, oh, I'm doing this again, or why I'm doing this, just be kind. You're like, like you see a friend, we're talking about one of the sessions. See yourself like you see the best friend, like listen to yourself and give what will the best respond or even advice to give to yourself. And this is loving kindness practice. A lot of recognition is so great. You have any question? Sometimes just go and rest. They go rest and contemplate and just feel what's happening. It's just the opening to loving kindness. Yes, go for it. Go back.
Oh, sorry. I just have to share with you, because what you just said about like how you speak to your friends, my closest friends, both of them, Jessica and Kristen. We started doing this thing where when we catch each other saying something negative about ourselves, like, I look terrible in this dress, or I've gained too much weight, or this was a dumb idea, or something negative about ourselves. The other one will say, don't talk about my best friend that way. And it's very genuine, right? It's very honest. You're my best. Why are you talking about my best friend that way? And that is really kind of, you hear a lot about, like, be good, nice to yourself, don't judge yourself, this and that and the other thing, but hearing it from someone who loves you in that way, and then you're like, oh yeah, I wouldn't let someone say that about you. Why am I going to let you say it about yourself? So yeah, it's a very similar idea, and it's a way that kind of makes sense to sort of conceptualize it that way, because it's hard just on your own to be like, I should be nice to myself. So yeah, thank you also for sharing that too.
Thank you, Meg. When you allow yourself and you see, it's like loving myself, turn around and I need to respond. It's a work, it's a dynamic, something that you have to make an effort, because it's a work. You have to have some kind of purpose that you want to do it, and that's the inspiration to go in. But it's beautiful that you see it, you know, you can treat yourself the best and be a best friend is the best, as your best friend do it. Once you reach that, you can reach easily to everybody else. It's just almost automatically, it's guaranteed. It's just, think about when you feel so great, when you, I don't know, feel in love, or you see the eyes of the baby, or I don't know, you feel like somebody come, you respond different, isn't it? Somebody come you don't know in the park, you feel so much love, you respond for that person different. Maybe your protection, still, you have to be careful, but your response will be different. So when you come into yourself and observing and also loving kindness and see, you know what, I think I can respond different way or not to myself, and I can be as a friend, get advice, hey, is give you the tools to be also a good friend with others as well. So that's loving kindness as well. It's such an amazing examples. is I think we all, is it not, feel like you can everybody kind of write a book of loving kind experience that you have. It's just recognition of that too, that we have the experience, that is not new. It's not like somebody like I cannot relate with any kind of thing you're saying. It's there all the time. Love is always available.